Let's live here with Bayut. Find your next home. Browse from over 200,000 listings for rent and sale in the UAE. Download the app or visit Bayut.com.
Let's talk real estate now. Delighted to be joined in the studio by Fibha Ahmed, Director of Sales at Dubizzle and Bayut. Morning, Fibha.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good, thanks very much indeed. And I'm excited to learn about first-time investors in the Dubai market. That's what we're focusing on today. Not your people with a portfolio of 50 properties who've been here since the 1980s. People who are dipping their toe in the market for the first time. And there might be one or two of those in the studio at the moment. So what does a first-time investor need to know?
I'm very glad that we're touching this topic today. I think everybody has heard enough of a record-breaking deal, a record-breaking penthouse bought, piece of sand bought for big tickets. What does a regular person do who's got a 9-to-5 job? When do they actually start to look and buy? I'm one of those. Been in the country for 17 years, been in the industry for 10 years, and now finally I've made up my mind. I've decided that this is the time that I become one of those Dubai investors.
But you're going to become, and this is what a lot of people are doing, buying to invest rather than buying to live, which is an interesting decision. How do you weigh that up?
I believe it's where you are. At what stage in your life do you see that there is trust in the system? You believe that your money is better put into an asset rather than just sitting in the bank, or you go the financial product way. I come from a culture, I come from a home, a family that believes in investing in property. And I believe it's the safest and the easiest to understand for the first-time investor who's going to put their hard-earned money somewhere. Dubai has done a wonderful job. It's a 20-year-old real estate market, and it has given people ample opportunity to try their first investment here. I believe a couple of years ago, if you would have asked me, I had the same concerns as any person would have. What if I lose my job? Would I be able to keep up with the mortgages? I believe now when you have a system around you where you see first-time buyers and you read about them in the paper, you have them in your circle, you've done your research, there's so much information available, and I think the information that I had access to really helped me with that.
Okay, so let's look at the sweet spot for people who are just regular people with a job rather than your millionaires and billionaires. Let's leave them aside for now. Are we talking 500,000 dirhams? Are we talking 1.5 million, maybe a little bit more than that? You have a lot of data, obviously, at Bayut and Dubizzle. What are first-time investors buying?
Let me turn that around and ask you, Richard. I give you 750,000 dirhams today, and I say go buy a piece of land. Would you, or an apartment, or any investment opportunity in real estate, would you think that you can buy something with this, or it's out of reach?
No, I would immediately think I'm going to Al Fajan or Discovery Gardens. For 750k, I'm probably not going to be in downtown with love. I'm probably not going to be on the Palm. But I think I could, I don't know, I could go on Bayut and have a check. But my guess is I'd get something decent, a decent one bed in those kind of areas. I'm going to check now. Go on.
Exactly. Referring back to what I said earlier, we have enough tools, we have enough information available on Bayut.com. We have thousands of area guides where you can look into a particular area. You see what are the prices between 1 to 3 bed. Apartments are the first thing that comes to your mind when you look at a budget under $1 million dirham. You have many opportunities. You have your Arjan, which has some very beautiful apartments in the range of 650k with an ROI of about 6%.
I live there.
You do?
I could go and view them today.
Brilliant. We also have your Dubai Sports City. Studio City has some very exciting options coming out, which is less than 500k for a studio and roughly about 650 to 700k. And all of these areas have very healthy 6 to 8% ROI. So if you're looking to live, you're in a community which is well established. It's not brand new. And if you want to rent it out, you have a healthy ROI that comes into your bank.
So 6 to 8%. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things here. First of all, are we talking net or gross? My 6 to 8%.
This is definitely going to be gross. You really have to pay attention to what you want to do with it. Are you going to be able to stick to a rent that you are not willing to negotiate? So you might have the property out there vacant for a month or two. You need to pay attention to your first outgoing, your 4% to DLD, your 2% to the agent who helped you get the property, some fees for registration. This is your gross rental yield in these areas. But these areas are very much in demand, especially when people are getting priced out of downtown, they're getting priced out of Marina, and they're looking to invest and stay in apartments rather than just give their money as a rent to a landlord. So
okay, so 6 to 8% gross. So then when I pay my service charges, I'm looking at maybe 5-ish, 5 to 6 to 7%.
That's a very healthy number that you can certainly get.
But we've had people in this week, last week, talking about if you go the Airbnb route for the short-term rental, particularly in places like the Marina, which are very popular for an Airbnb market, you can be in double digits net after you've paid all the service fees, all the agents, whatever else it may be, the cut to Airbnb, you can still walk away with about 10 to 12%. Is that really true in your experience?
Absolutely, and you touched a very personal spot. I started looking to invest, and I thought I'll buy a property in Business Bay. I know the area, I'll put it on long-term rent, no headache to me. Now I'm looking at a property in Marina, definitely to do short-term rentals. Because of the healthy returns you get, Marina is an area which is always in demand. You certainly make 10 to 15 to 20,000 per month more in rental. There is a very, very healthy demand for short-term rentals in Marina. You get that in downtown. You also get that in JLT. And yes, as a first-time investor, you need to make up your mind. Are you going to be able to do the hard work and deal with a holiday home rental company or somebody who can take the pain away from you and promise you these rates? Are you okay to have the apartment empty in off-seasons, or do you want a steady flow of income that covers your mortgages and go for a long-term rental?
You've been looking at the issue of buying off-plan with various payment programs or buying a ready property. What are the pros and cons?
That's a very good question. Again, really depends on what's your financial situation, how much down payment you can make at the moment. Areas that I have done my research on, if you invest into an off-plan that is closer to handover, you have some options in Dubai Land area. You're quickly looking at a 200 to 300K gain as soon as the villas are handed over. I'm talking Serena, I'm talking Town Square, where if you buy a property during the off-plan phase, you get a 3-bed for about 1.2, 1.4 million. As soon as it's handed over, since Town Square has become such an established community, you can put that for sale for about 1.7, 1.8 million. So either you go for rental gains, so then you have to look at established communities where either you want to do short-term or long-term, or are you going to go for price appreciation? One thing to keep in mind for off-plan is research. Again, go for developers that have a great reputation. You know that you're going to get your project handed over. And what are you aiming for? A steady flow of rental income or price appreciation?
Right then. Well, I've got you've just given me 750,000 dirhams, which I appreciate. Thank you very much indeed. I know we'll go shopping a little bit later on today. We're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for your time this morning. The thoughts of Fibha Ahmed, Director of Sales at Dubai and Bayut. Thanks, Fibha.
Thank you very much.